Selamat sejahtera dan selamat sepupu. That's right, sepupus. I have become your average daily bald sepupu.
Yeah, a bit more on this in one of my next videos.
Here I am, a changed man. I have gone back to my original roots, in the same way that Loh Siew Hong's kids did. For those of you who don't know, the story is that this woman separated from her husband in March 2019 because of domestic abuse. She got sole custody of her kids, but somehow the dude went and abducted the kids, brought them over to Perlis, where he converted them to Islam without her consent. Now, those of you who know your constitution probably know that this is a little bit sketch. Because of Article 12.4 of the Constitution, for the purposes of Clause 3, the religion of a person under the age of 18 years shall be decided by his parent or guardian. If you're a kid, you're under 18, you want to change your religion, that is not kosher. Technically, that makes sense because at that time, you are technically under the protection of your family. There are lots of sketchy people out there, and you can't just randomly convert children out of nowhere. Makes sense. In the 2018 Indira Gandhi case, it was decided that
The interpretation of the word
parent should actually be both parents, but somehow or another, in Perlis, they decided that they have state authority,
which they intentionally tried to get, by the way. And that, by the way, PAS tried to facilitate.
ended up accepting this random dad's attempt to convert his kids into Islam. Loh doesn't actually know about this. She doesn't consent to it, gets sole custody of the kids, tries to annul the unilateral conversion, files judicial review. The High Court dismisses it. Court of Appeal overturns the High Court's decision. Perlis applies for leave to appeal,
While trying to complain like the weird guy who's trying to confess to a girl who doesn't even like him.
a review application is filed on October 29, and finally, it is April 8th, and finally the court says, Loh Siew Hong's kids are now officially Hindu again.
Oh, and it's final as well.
Alright, and there's your update. I'm so happy for the family. They fought for this for a long time. And it really drives home the idea that there can be no compulsion in religion. You can say that like, alright.
Why is this even an issue? Come on, it's just changing religion. It's not an issue, is it? But it is.
See, the difference between Malaysia and other countries is that for other countries, you get to explore the entire dreamscape of beliefs. You could be a Taoist, a Buddhist, a Christian, a Muslim, believe in the flying spaghetti monster 1 minute, convert to Islam again, and then finally go back to becoming an atheist altogether, no problem. But of course, in Malaysia, even if somebody were to be a murtad, if you tried to be a murtad in Malaysia, you would just get sent for re-education classes one after another until you get bored and you give up. Conversion attempts get annulled, delayed, just never processed for long periods of time until they finally say no, send you away, waste even more years of your life. Basically, it is like Hotel California where you can check out but you can never leave. To the point where a lot of people, if ever they want to avoid all these problems, the easiest way is to literally just never convert. Like, I'm sorry Muslim friends, I love you and everything, I'll go for your weddings and everything, but lakum dinukum waliyadin. I respect you, you respect me, we are different, please don't evangelize to me.
Now, I think that child conversion is really problematic.
Now, my really big problem with all of this, right, is that these are kids. Now, I know some people who are Muslim will probably go out there and be all like, ini hal agama kami, kamu janganlah campur tangan. But well, this is not a matter of religion, this is a matter of human rights.
In a range of different jurisdictions,
If you are not at the age of 18 yet, then you do not have what is called capacity to make decisions. There are cognitive and social reasons as to why it is that kids are not able to consent to things like marriage, sex, alcohol, and any number of other things.
and frankly I find it really weird that the MAIPS lawyer didn't know that.
Sure, you can say that some kids are more mature than other kids, and I'm sure that there definitely are kids like that. But you cannot just say that just because somebody feels something very strongly in the moment, oh, then they confirm like it. It's like going on a first date with some random person that you met off the street, right? And then getting married 3 hours later after going to Las Vegas or some sketchy part of Thailand. But the fact is, right, any such case, right, has to be observed over a long period of time.
On average,
I mean, first things first, right? I'm sure you can have a lot of passion, understanding, even faith when you're a child and in a church. I mean, heck, the youths, they can be more passionate than the adults. But passion doesn't mean understanding. If you don't read your scriptures, you don't understand what's going on, you just repeat every single day what people are telling you day in and day out. You're basically just converting them in that environment where they may not even know what's going on, what they are getting themselves into, and whether they believe or not. Of course, even adults can be brainwashed as well. But the difference there is that with kids who are as young as Loh Siew Hong's kids, there is a power relation. Whether it's because they are your religious teacher or your father or the religious NGO that was taking care of you, they're going to have an influence over you that's going to shape the way that you think.
And because there was a power relation, especially with an abusive father, well, it's clear what happened.
So how can you really say that these kids want out of their hearts to masuk agama, when in reality, you just don't know. It's a self-serving interpretation that you created for your own sake.
Consider the Perlis government.
Challenging, appealing, challenging, appealing.
After, by the way, amending the state law to facilitate unilateral conversions.
Like, come on bro, just stop. Like, it's none of your actual business, Dr. MAZA or whoever it is who somehow thinks that having these extra people, who are by the way kids, is going to be so important towards your entire faith. Now, I'm not saying that people should want to leave Islam. I think that a lot of my Muslim friends emphasize that, look, if you're not serious about Islam, then don't even think about dating a Muslim girl. You need to convert. It is the hukum. Fine, no problem. I won't dispute that. But if we think back to the kids, if you're lacking in capacity and you're making a decision that is as important and you cannot actually back out from, it is likely to be something that you are going to regret a lot, but you can never back out of. Malaysia is religious policing town where somehow or another people cannot stand the thought that they have no control or should not have a say over what happens in your life or what you believe in. I mean seriously, we already saw this in even Mahathir's granddaughter is not safe, but the situation is really bad out there. I don't know whether you think of it as like, oh, we must protect the ummah, or like, oh, semoga dakwah berjaya, but I can tell you, it doesn't make sense. From the perspective of somebody who's Muslim, maybe to you, it's very good that you live in a country where a large proportion of the population is Muslim. But I have to wonder, right, if the majority of you don't read Arabic, you don't understand the scriptures, you don't actually live by the religion in the very first place, then what is the point of it all? The whole point of religion is to improve people's lives with spirituality, and in the case of Islam, it's to literally, if we take the Arabic roots, be in peaceful submission to God. But I highly doubt, right, that anybody out there who's forced to convert will actually know about these things
unless they are genuinely sincere about the religion, which is, I'm sure, what most Muslims would like as well.
I've seen a lot of people, right, like their whole mentality, their whole personality is that, oh, we need to go out there and we need to dakwah and we need to save the entire world. Semua boleh masuk syurga. But it's like, bro, what? I don't think that's the right way to convert people, and loath as I am to cite Zakir Naik,
who is one of Perlis Mufti's best friends, by the way.
He actually gave some good advice when somebody asked him in a forum session why it is that the dakwah effort in Malaysia is going slowly.
You know, the dakwah towards the Chinese or Indian, which has been with us for many, many years, has not been doing very well. The ones that you see typically are intermarriages, and that is driven by love. But as far as the normal communication, there's a lot of distrust and misconception, and you know, there's a lot of factors. I mean, when I look at it, it could be we show bad examples or...
And Zakir gave him the advice that
the best way is you have to be good examples to your Chinese brothers and sisters. You have to be a good example to your Hindu brothers and sisters. If you're a good example, they love you.
Okay, let's talk about some of those good examples.
there are definitely people out there who literally just join Islam because it is personally beneficial to them. You can get certain amounts of money if you are a Muslim. I believe you get zakat, asnaf or something, stuff for like new mualafs, converts, whatever, from like 500 ringgit to 2,000 ringgit for like Islamic, religious education, any number of other things like that.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but makes a huge difference if you're extremely poor.
Oh, and you also get all sorts of wonderful privileges and become a hero to the community while selling your books and turning against your own race, insulting everyone, spreading your dakwah across the universe as a good Chinese.
You also get the wonderful privilege of interacting with people like these.
Wow, lovely.
And then the people who are forced in.
People who literally just churlup into the faith because like they married somebody that they love who happens to be Muslim. They were born into a Muslim family and they didn't have any choice from the moment they were born. They were Malay and therefore they were constitutionally Muslim. Or any number of other things out there. Doing forced conversions, abusing your family is not really a very inspiring way to go about it, and neither is a government bureaucracy that actually supports that. You have a whole bunch of random people just thinking about this woman and possibly thinking about exerting justice upon her.
Finally, I'm so happy. I don't want still mics disturb me. Leave me alone.
And I'm sorry to just not mince words, but like, you have to kind of ask yourself, right?
Even if it's true that you find great personal satisfaction in your religion,
if you have a whole bunch of people who don't even understand your religion, don't care about your religion, who are literally there because you have forced them to be there, whether by law or social pressure or any aspect of your culture, then exactly how strong can you expect your ummah to be? Because every single person out there is going to be wallowing in pity, afraid of being kecam by other people, and literally walking on eggshells every single day, even as they talk about how they are finding peace in God. I mean, I don't know about that, but like, that sounds like a very sad situation to me. Dr. MAZA can insist time and time again, you just don't want to create a precedent where people can come up and challenge the state government over and over again with all of these conversion cases. But the fact is, trying to restore the Muslim status of this obviously flawed conversion attempt, that is a huge overreach and a huge mistake on the part of the Perlis Jabatan Agama Islam, and that Dr. MAZA can spin one way or another way, but it's never actually gonna fly. Anyway, congratulations to Puan Loh. I'm glad that you managed to revert your children's Hindu status. If they want to later convert to Islam, then by all means. But protecting them from going into something that they potentially can never escape from, especially in Malaysia, is the right, responsible, and decent thing to do. I hope that you will have a happy life, fade out of the public eye. I don't think this video actually helped, but I want to wish you a very warm congratulations on the outcome of your case. And I hope that you have a good life in Malaysia, and so will your kids, whatever religion it is that they choose to have, and whatever life it is that they choose to live. That is, of course, assuming that you still end up staying in Malaysia. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.